This is how a venture capital firm makes money. Some of the biggest VC in the world, like Sequoia, Andreessen Horowitz, have mass success because of the way they invest. It is reported that since inception, they have been returning 70% on average every single year. So let's look at what that means and how do they actually do it. So let's take a look at this graph right here. On the y-axis, we have how much the portfolio is valued at, and the y-axis is a time series. So when we have a start right here, let's say the fund starts with $10 million and they make a bunch of investments. Well, in the first few years, they're going to incur a loss until some of the portfolio companies starts returning them money. The reason why this is that even with the best performing fund like Sequoia, their success rates of the companies they picked is from 2 to 8%. That means that out of all the 100 companies that they invest, only 2 to 8 of them actually become successful, and the rest fail or blow up, get disbanded, gets liquidated. But you might think, okay, 2% to 8%, that's really low. How are they going to make their money back? Well, that 2 to 8 companies actually goes 10x or maybe even 100x, and sometimes even 1,000x, depending on how long you grow. And they would even grow bigger and bigger as time goes on once they find that initial success. So let's take a look at Facebook. Facebook initially started out very small, but it gravitated very quickly. It built its network effect. And compared to all the other tech companies that started around the same time, Facebook essentially dominated the markets. And they have returned for their VCs a huge amount of money. So how VCs work is that they're gonna sign many small checks of, let's say, 100,000 to a few millions to a bunch of startups, and hope that 2 to 8 of them will work out, and those will grow exponentially, which will help them break even and return for them tenfolds or even 1,000 folds of what they initially put in. That should essentially make up for all the portfolio companies that fail, which is guaranteed. And 2 to 8% is actually quite a high number. Usually, if you let a blind monkey choose 100 companies, 1% of those companies would actually work out. So it's a fairly tough game to be in VC because you're essentially losing money pretty consistently for a long period of time up until the point where it breaks even, and you're going to see a lot of your portfolio companies fail. But when one actually does stick and it is actually growing, you will have to put in a lot more money and try to make that one work.